Welcome to part 2 of the album cover design project. We're picking up where we left off at the beginning of, or the end of getting started with your album cover. You can see that I have a great cover design started in the front cover here, and the back cover is still needing some work. We are going to be adding the parental advisory label and barcode. Everyone will add a barcode. The parental advisory label is really dependent on the musical artist you chose and the lyrics of the song you chose. So if the lyrics have anything sensitive, whether that's swearing or derogatory language or anything like that, it would need a parental advisory label. That's actually part of the law. In order to just warn parents that maybe this isn't the music they want their 3-year-old to listen to. So I'm going to show you with that, even though Beck isn't all that, you know, he typically won't have a parental advisory on the cover, but I'll show you anyways how to do it. So underneath Google Classroom, in the album cover assignment, I gotta click save on this anyways, I added the barcode and the parental advisory label as PNGs. So these are just generic labels and barcodes. You can certainly go to Google Images and find different ones to use if you wish to do so. But these are here for you to use. So I'm gonna just right click and do save image as. If that doesn't work, you can also just download it, again, by clicking on those 3 dots and doing open a new window. We'll bring this down. And then you can click on download and it should just automatically download. So we have the parental advisory label, and then we're also going to get the barcode. So I'm just going to save that. I recommend saving it instead of copying it, especially since it's a PNG. You'll notice that it's got this checkerboard background. Now I'm going to go to Photoshop, and in Photoshop, I'm going to bring this up a little bit. Sorry, not Photoshop, Photo P. Well, I'll show you in Photoshop, sure. So Photoshop, you go to File, Open, and you can just open each of these individually. So they'll show up as individual tabs. File, Open, I'll open the advisory label. Okay, so we're going to put this on the front cover, this advisory. So this is a Photoshop thing. You can also do this in Photo P, but it is, you know, in Photo P you have the open in place. In Photoshop we're not using that. So we're using the marquee tool. We're going to click and drag in the far corner here around this label. I have the dancing ants now. We're going to do Control C, go to the album cover design plan, and go to Control V. Okay, so it's looking really big. And I just need to resize it. And I can actually see when since this is underneath, I can see there's a place where I missed erasing on my Beck layer. So I'm actually going to just click on that layer quick. This is where mistakes can be revealed. There we go. Okay. That's the beauty of layers. So you can see already I have 6 layers. We're not even done yet. I'm going to resize this layer, and I'm also going to make sure that it's in the right order. For now, I think it'll be okay because I just want it really small on the front cover. So the parental advisory label goes on the front. The barcode goes on the back cover. So just remember that. So Control T or Control Alt T will let you resize. Not about that big, probably. Actually, maybe even a little smaller. Again, it's just meant to be a warning to parents or guardians. All right. And then you can save that. I'm just going to do File Save. Save that as you go along. And I'll show you now in Photo P. Let's switch over here. Let's see if I can just do File, Open in Place with that parental advisory label. All right, so that's how it works in Photo P, and then you can just automatically resize it. There are some things in Photo P that I think are better than Photoshop. Click Enter. I'm going to save that. We'll just save it as a PSD. Keep saving it as a PSD. That's not going to hurt anything. Just keep doing that. Don't export it yet. All right, so we have the advisory label. Now we need to design the background and put the barcode on the back. So I'm just going to do a couple quick things. I'm going to make sure that I'm on the right layer. So I got to look for, yeah, so shape 4. I'm going to rename shape 4 because I know that those are the lines in the box combined. And we're just going to call this back, so I remember what layer I'm on. This one, I'm just double clicking here. We're going to call that one Beck. Actually, let's do Beck Photo. All the other ones I think are pretty explanatory, but just want to make sure that I don't get them too confused. So with my back design here, let's say I want to just fill in a color. Okay, and again with illustration, we are counting illustration as the fill bucket, the brush tool. So if I use brush tool here, that counts. The gradient tool, which is right here, so gradient, it's gonna look weird right here, but because I didn't select the area. If I wanted to fill this area in with the gradient, I might have to zoom in here. I could just select the inside. So that's where selection tools come into play. So I'm selecting that, and then I have my gradient tool selected here. I'm going to click and drag, and now it's only creating the gradient on the inside. So that's something you can do if you've changed your shape layer and you're wondering how you can get that gradient back. That's how you do it. And I do want to show you that there are different types of gradients. So there's like a radial gradient that will make it look more round. It's like a circle, angle, reflected, and diamond. So kind of some cool things you can try there. Some other things too, I don't think I spent a ton of time on filters, but there is a filter gallery that you're welcome to check out, depending on what you're looking for. And I know it probably won't look like much here, but you can kind of play around with those if you're looking for like a specific texture or kind of a sketching look. I actually kind of like this halftone one. It looks like it's printed on newspaper. Glowing edges, stained glass, and Photopea doesn't have nearly as many, but Photoshop does have more. So there are some really cool things you can do, just, you know, different backgrounds. You can make this really big, do some kind of like cool abstract background. Very simple. That counts as illustration. So just know that. I actually might even keep that. I'm going to keep that stained glass thing, but I'm going to make the cells really big. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Now we are going to put the barcode on. I'm not going to actually list the songs yet or design the spines. I'll do that in the next video. I'm going to actually just do File, Save as PSD again. Move me down there. I'm going to do Select, Deselect because I don't need the dancing ants selection anymore. All I have to do is the same thing as I did with my parental advisory label. Just make sure that it's saved, the barcode is saved. Go into Photopea, File, Open in Place. There's my giant barcode. Now obviously way too big, so I'm going to resize, Control-Alt-T, or Edit Free Transform to resize. This is why this project is so good. You're using so many different things that we're going to be using in future projects. Hit enter. Now, sometimes, depending on the color of your background, if you have a really dark background, that barcode is not going to show up very well. So I'm going to show you kind of a neat trick that you can try. So I have my layer selected here. I went to Image and Adjustments, and I'm going to go to Invert. And Invert will just swap colors, basically any colors like across from each other or opposites. So in this case, it was black. And so I did Invert and it changed it to white. But let's see what happens when I click on the back cover design here and I go to Image, Adjustments, and Invert. Okay, turned blue. One reason for that is the color wheel. So this is where little art comes into play here. All right. So depending on the type of color wheel you're looking at, let's grab, that one's kind of weird looking. Let's do this one. So colors across from each other. Obviously, black and white are not on here because they're technically not colors. They're either the combination of all colors or the absence of colors. But we do call them colors in art. But here's the color wheel. When you invert something, so let's say we inverted, I don't know, and I know mine turned more blue, but the reds were kind of more on the red-orange side of things. So, you know, if this is technically, you know, red-orange here, and we go across the color wheel, you're looking at either blue-green or blue. And so that's why it shows up as this aqua blue. But if we changed it, let's see what happens when we change it to yellow. I'm going to change this color in yellow. This is just something I think is really interesting. All right, so we have kind of a weird yellow. There we go. Okay, so there's yellow, but let's say we want to invert the yellow. Look at that. It's kind of a blue and purple. So we have the yellows here, we go across. Oh, look, blue and purple. So that's a great way to just quick change a color, especially with the barcode if you want to be able to see the barcode better. That's just something you can try. I mean, if you want a colorful barcode, I would just find a colorful barcode rather than trying to go through and fill in every single one of these lines, you know, with a color. Like trying to do that, oops, on the wrong layer. Might take a little too much time. Oh, I have to rasterize it anyways. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, that's just white anyways, but if I turned it to blue, yeah, it's not really going to work. So I would just find a barcode in that color then if you were looking for one that has a color. So these are required, the barcode and the advisory label, if you have songs that have lyrics with inappropriate type things within the lyrics. So, you know, sexual references, drug references, any kind of swearing or derogatory language, that would have to have that warning label. But if your music does not have that, don't put the label on there. The label is only to warn, you know, parents and guardians. Everyone will put the barcode on the back cover. So we're going to stop there. I showed you a couple new things. Hopefully you can try those out and see how they work. And don't forget to do file save as PSD. Do that frequently. I usually recommend every 10 minutes of work, do file save as PSD, or in Photoshop, just file save as, and there's PSD there. And you can just click save and it will save just like you would in Photo P. All right, enjoy.